Okay, so I got a little bit more I want to say to you tonight. No, it's not about affordable housing. It's about that hideous art downtown Port Townsend. So you know those dumb, ugly sticks downtown Port Townsend? And dangerous because they have metal in them? They were white. They were everywhere. They looked like some sort of a ghost or like a large person ate an exclamation mark and barfed it up upside down. They're psychotic, and they do not fit in with Port Townsend. They're not steampunk. They're not Victorian. But they're modern enough to where you do a cue card, and then, what is it, a QR card? See, I'm Gen X. I don't even know these things. I mean, God help the people older than me. Well, what do we do with this hideous piece of wood that, could have found out back in the barn? Well, see, there's a piece of hideous plastic on it with a bunch of hideous black, and you run your brand new spanking phone over it, and then you get all this information. What? I come to Port Townsend to see buildings from the 1800s. Well, I think they're actually from Tartaria, but, I digress. I didn't come here to see no modern shit. That's what the folks say when they visit in Port Townsend. They're like, what is this, Martha? This looks like one of them lava trees we saw in Hawaii, or like some sort of an aftermath of a fire, like somebody ate a tree and done throwed it up in a pile. Anyway, you get the point. So, a cool and groovy statue of, say, a heron, or an orca, or something steampunk, or Victorian, or Port Townsend. I mean, really, at this point, a statue of a person or a foot or anything that's based in any sort of anything for Port Townsend. Instead, they just take some wood and they chop it and take some chop, and they put it in metal, they put on a QR code and they go, oh, voila, we call it art. But the funny thing is, there was a problem. A year and a half or so ago, do you know what it was? Well, people thought they were so ugly that they painted them. They used them as their protest graffiti. The people of Port Townsend used it for their place to protest what was in their heart. But the city pretends, we like diversity and we like all these people and we like their point of view. They didn't. Oh, and there was always stickers on them. And I didn't want to tell Chief Olson because I know that if he thinks there's a sticker on something downtown, he's going to call the riot squad. So we don't want him to know about the stickers. Anywho, up at the farmer's market, you probably saw that one. They'd painted blood on it and they were doing their protest about something. And downtown, there was always some sort of sticker or some sort of paint or something. And I don't know about the one at Fort Worden or everywhere, but they're just white. They're kind of like the monoliths, except for they're not cool. They're like monolith wannabes, like they popped up out of the ground and that would be cool. If those things popped up out of the ground all over Port Townsend, I would think that's really neat and a phenomenon because we're a town of supernatural, a town of ghosts. That would be cool. But to put them there, Anyway, I lost the plot. So the protesters were using that as their protest board. And there was always some new protest. And the city'd come in and they'd paint it white. And then the protesters would put their little message on it. Then the city would come in, paint it white. And over and over. So the city's like, as the city does. What can we do about this problem? I know. I'm not sure. What should we do about it? Maybe we should call the artist. What do you guys think? I know. Pick me. What do you over there think? What do you? No, pick me. We already know your idea, Reverend. How do you know my idea? I'm sure your idea is just to get rid of it. And I'm like, spoil the ending. Yes, get rid of them. I didn't move to Port Townsend to see something I could have saw in the ranch in Montana with the barn boards that somebody spilled some sort of whitewash on. I mean, hello? You think any of the tourists like that dumb art? It is so bad. Oh, anyway. Okay. There was an issue with the protesters. Did I say that already? Okay. So I got the public records. I don't know why. I think because people were fighting over money. There was a money thing. Always about the money. I don't really know why I got the public records on it, but I did. And it's just so funny. I might do a video about it sometime, but it's like the city going, what do we do, Mr. Artist? What do we do? This is happening all the time. And I put their heads together, scratch it, and well, you're going to have to pay me a fee. Because here, I'm going to go on another tangent. I know a thing or two about public art in Port Townsend, because that's how I got to Port Townsend. My ex did public art all over the United States. She's from here. She lived in Spokane. And so she came over here because she had bid on a public art project in Port Townsend. And guess what? She had a fucking awesome idea, and it won. It won. It was great. And the city went, no. Because they wanted to go with one of their nepotistic buddies that probably had some blackmailing on them. This was in like 2012. So it's kind of the same players, but they're a little bit different than now, but the same. Anywho, Uptown Funk, the farmer's market, there is a community center up there. And in front of that, there's a dumb fucking public art feature. Pardon my language. It's fucking ugly. Did you just cuss again? I did. Sorry. Okay, it's a clock. It's a drunk clock. So picture a drunk guy walking from the Uptown bar, trying to walk downtown, and he's got like 4 or 5 legs and a giant head. And that's the clock up there by the community center. If you know, you know. It's fucking ugly. Anywho, my ex's idea was great. Because I'm not just saying that because she's a friend of mine. She's, she passed away. And that's story for another day. It's making me a little bit sad. But what was her cool idea was in that spot, just so you know, so when you look at that, like, throwed up, and you... We know you don't like it, okay? But here's the bid that she won, that the city decided not to go with because, and then they waited a year and funded a different one. Oh my God, get to the fucking point, Crystal. I'm almost there. Like, I'm like this close to the point. So it was something. It was a really cool sculpture. I don't remember exactly what it was. You went all this far just to say you don't know what it is? No, I don't know exactly what it was, but the neat thing is that the metal that she made it of, that with the rain, it was for the rain. So when the rain would hit each different metal, it would have a different note, a different frequency, and it played kind of this song. And it was just such a neat idea, and it would have been such a neat idea to have up there instead of, you know, what's there. Anyway, so I know a thing or two about public art in Port Townsend. I'm not claiming to know everything about everything because I don't know anything about anything. And my daddy said he don't know diddly squat about diddly squat, whatever that is. And then my uncle, he's out on my ass from a hole in the ground. And my granny said, you ain't got the brains God give a goose. And I was thinking, God, what did God give to a goose? Anyway, this may come to as a surprise to you, but I don't remember what I was talking about. Oh, so the city of them using the white statues for their protest, and the city finally getting really frustrated at painting it, so they called the artist and asked for ideas, and I think the artist charged them some sort of fee. You can see in the public records how they're talking about it, and you know, you just gotta I mean, it's like a Netflix series. I'm like laughing my ass off just watching this conversation with the artist and the city, right? And talk about don't know your ass from a hole in the ground, right? The city, we don't want to keep painting it white. What do we do? So the artist solution, well, paint it green. And you know what's even dumber than that? It worked. It fucking worked. The artist come in. Hello, get my special green and fluff my hair. This special artist dye green on this fucking thrown up piece of shit art. And voila. It was a whole new look, right? Because it was a different color. Still, it's hideous. But the point here is that people stopped painting on it. They stopped using it like a chalkboard and a graffiti board simply with the color change. So it did kind of work. But oh my God, do not tell Chief Olson. Please do not tell. There actually are some stickers on them. And if Olson finds out, he will call the riot squad, and I am not kidding. He's done it before. Look up Stickergate, Port Townsend. Anyhow, I don't understand that art. I've never understood it. Seeing the pictures of everybody else so proud of it, it's fucking stupid, okay? It's nothing to do with the Salish Sea, the Cascade Mountains, Port Townsend, wooden boats, heron, seashells, rocks. I mean, anything at all. Please, please remove it. I smite thee. Lightning hits them, and they disintegrate and
Be gone, amen, and so it is.